4 years ago, I remember having a conversation with two of my anthropology professors. You see, the book of Boba Fett just came out, and we were discussing. Big surprise, I know. Star Wars fan. Now, the show, let's get this straight, the show was terrible. Terrible, but the conversation wasn't. I remember one of my professors talked to me about how they watched the show while having a scientific mind. And in 4 years from now, I too would have a scientific mind. Well, I stand before you all 4 years later, and I can indeed confirm that I have a newly acquired scientific mind. Thanks to my department, of course. With my newly acquired scientific mind and my very passionate desire and just overwhelming appreciation for the scientific community, I keep seeing one certain question being tossed around everywhere I go. Now, this question has been debated for years, many, many years, hundreds of years, and still has yet to find a solidified answer. That question that has been debated for years being, what is the great separator that separates humans from non-human animals? You see, like I said, there has been numerous, dare I say a plethora of different answers that have been thrown out, such as it's our ability to create and imagine, our ability to use tools, make buildings, come up with solutions to problems, to make something out of nothing. Another answer I've seen comes from Aldo Leopold in his poem on the momentum to a pigeon, which was read at the funeral of the now extinct species, the passenger pigeon. His answer of what makes us different was our grief, our empathy. Not just our grief and empathy towards others, but for species completely other than our own. And while I personally don't disagree with either of these answers, however, I don't think that's the full story. I think there's something else that I think is a better answer, and I'd like to offer that answer. I believe what separates us from animals is our ability to do the impossible. Throughout all of humanity, that word, impossible, has haunted us. We were told it'd be impossible to go across the seas. It'd be impossible to fly, impossible to see and go to the stars. And in my own personal experience, impossible to say a full sentence in my life. You see, at a young age, I was diagnosed with very low-functioning autism, and doctors told my mother that I would never be able to say a full sentence in my life. It's impossible. By all rights, I should not be here speaking to you according to those doctors. However, my mother, of whom's resolve was passed on to me, it's true, did not accept this as a final answer. Instead, for 3 years, she went to 9 therapy sessions a week just so I can say a full sentence. And after all that work, I was able to do it. It was a little anticlimactic. It was wada big wet balloon, Not, it's nothing to be proud about, but to me and to my parents, that sentence meant that not only that this is working, but that the impossible wasn't truly possible. And it was due to my mother's and my father's efforts I was able to do that impossible. Later in life, I overcame many other impossibilities, such as graduating high school, getting into college, and of course, graduating college. While my story may be unique, I can say in full confidence that many of you, my peers, share elements of your story with mine and have heard that word, impossible. But, like humanity incarnate, we overcame it. We are the doers of the impossible. Through our will, our resolve, our determination, and the support for those who care for us, we make the impossible possible. And I ask you, the audience, my peers that I have gotten to know over these past 4 years, I ask you to continue this mentality Well, today is the last day of our journey that we set on 4 years ago. Today is not the last day you hear that word, impossible. In the future, there will still be people who try to underestimate you. And to that, I ask you, prove them wrong. And do what we've done in the past. Be human and do the impossible. Thank you, everyone, for listening. However, I appreciate it. I'm not quite done. I know I yap a lot. I'd be incredibly foolish not to give a special thank you to my friends, to my mentors, to my brothers, my father, and my mother, and my dog. For without them, I truly would not have been able to overcome this impossibility of standing here before you today. Love y'all.